Pattabiraman family have been associated with the foundation and Sri Sadguru Ma for over 3 decades. And these lectures have been institutionalized in Mr. T.R. Pattabiraman memory. I think, if I'm not wrong, Sri Kumar mentioned they were institutionalized in 2010. And since then, these have been an annual feature with the foundation. Okay, over the years, we've had a lot of professionals, academicians, leading practitioners who've spoken on various topics of contemporary interest as a part of these lectures. And we continue to have these as a part of an annual feature. I think it's only fitting that we have the Pattabiraman family represented by Mr. Sri Kumar Nair and Sri Kumar Raman and Sri Vidya here today to be a part of this program. And of course, a lot of other family members also there. So we begin the proceedings with invocation by Dr. Meenakshi, who is niece of Mr. T.R. Pattabiraman. Dr. Meenakshi, please.
Smara varam Smara varam Cheta Smarananda Kumaram Smara varam Cheta Smarananda Kumaram Smara varam Ghosha Kutira Payokrita Choram Ghosha Kutira Payokrita Choram Gokula Brindavana Sancharam Gokula Brindavana Sancharam Smara varam Venuravamrita Panakatoram Venuravamrita Panakatoram Vishwastithilaya Hetuviharam Vishwastithilaya Hetuviharam Paramahamsakrit Panjarakiro Paramahamsakrit Panjarakiro Patudaradhenukabaka Samharam Smara varam Cheta Smarananda Kumaram Smara varam
Thank you, Dr. Meenakshi, for the invocation. We now have the welcome address by Mr. M.G. Sripati, erstwhile colleague and long-time professional associate of Mr. T.R. Pattabiraman. A brief on Mr. Sripati. Born and brought up in Chennai, schooling to graduation. Has worked for 3 decades in Indian Railways as a mechanical engineer, working mostly in challenging situations in problematic regions of Bengal and Bihar regions. After retirement for service and providing consultancy for management systems relating to quality, environment and safety at workplaces, he was finally drawn to the divine path by benevolence of Her Holiness Sadguru Sri Nananda Saraswati Ma. With abundant blessings from Sri Sadguru Swami, he performed and continues to perform immense service to Sri Sadguru Swami and Sri Vishnu Mohan Foundation and the Jnana Advaita Peetham. Whether it is in the stockkeeping, publication storage, administrative matters, preparing publications for press and organizing the bhajan book or coordinating spiritual tasks, all support during homam and functions, including guiding and training younger devotees. Mr. Sripathi's presence is always felt. He is also fondly known as Sripati Mama. Over to you, Mama.
Narayana. Sri Sadguru Swamini Namaha. Pranam to Swami Sri Hari Prasad Ji. It's a very big personal honor and pleasure for me to be associated with this endowment lecture in memory of my very close friend. Not only a friend, he was a friend, philosopher and guru also. In fact, it was T.R. Pattabiraman who first mentioned to me about Sri Sadguru Swami. He asked me, I was doing consultancy after retirement. He said, why are you indulging in all these worldly things? Come out to spiritual thing. Come and meet my Sadguru. So that was the first invitation I got. Though of course, I mentioned in the same breath that I did not pay much attention to his advice. But he had his way, being my very good friend. Ultimately, I landed in Sri Pita. I thank Pattabiraman only for the first inducement to come to Pita. Pattabhi and myself, we have been very close friends. I first met him in Jamalpur in 1958. That's how old our friendship is. After that, we worked in Chittaranjan Locomotive Works in very crucial posts for quality. There was a history in Chittaranjan that the quality department of Chittaranjan, which is governed by Chittaranjan Locomotive Works, and the external inspection through RDSO, Research Design and Standards Organization of Indian Railways. They had their representative. These two gentlemen never agreed. There was always a quarrel. When I was posted to Chittaranjan, in the first phase of 5 years, Pattabhi had not come. Then I was out of Chittaranjan for a short period. I was back again soon. And I was posted as the head of the local quality team. I remember it was around 10 o'clock. I went looking for Pattabhi because I had known he had come here and posted on behalf of RDSO. Then somebody said he is doing the inspection of locomotive under gear. I don't know, you may not be very familiar with that. We have pit lines. Between the two rail tracks there is a pit into which one enters and studies or examines the undergear part of the locomotive. Pattabhi was doing it. So I entered the pit and went and said, hello Pattabhi. He was very shocked and surprised. He said, you are in the pit. First time the quality head of the Chittaranjan has entered this pit. That was his comment. That was our first meeting in our official capacity. Of course, earlier we had known each other very well. So after that, our mutual trust was so much that once he had to go out of Chittaranjan for some personal work. And I told him a locomotive is coming up for inspection. Who will do on his behalf? He said, you do it. You do everything, you file the report, everything excepting signing. I will come and sign, post-dated. So I said, you are trusting me. He said, I will trust you and no one else. So this was our bonding. Very unfortunate that he is not here. He was not here when I actually came to Petam. He would have guided me much better. Well, personal things apart, I welcome all of you to this endowment lecture on my dear friend T.R. Pattabiraman in his memory. I welcome Swamiji, the managing trustee of the Vishnu Mohan Foundation, for sponsoring this, encouraging the family of Pattabiraman into conducting this. It used to be an annual function, but it trots on. It is all credit should go to Swamiji. Among the family of Pattabiraman, Sheila, his wife, I affectionately call her my Chinna Guru, because she physically brought me to Sri Peetham. So she will be quite embarrassed when I address her as Chinna Guru. I said, Sadguru is in Peetham, Chinna Guru is here. Though she is not physically present, I am sure her mind is here and I welcome her. And of course, it is superfluous to mention Sri Vidya and her husband Sri Kumar. They are the pillars of Sri Peetham and Sri Vishnu Mohan Foundation, very silent workers, and they try their best to organize this memorial endowment lecture as often as possible, and perhaps they will succeed in their attempts to do it every year. I welcome Professor Dr. C.T. Indra, who is going to make a presentation today. Yesterday I told her that I am not able to understand the title of your subject. She was quite shocked, but afterwards I went and studied that again. So yes, now I withdraw my comments. Dr. Professor Francis Clooney from the Harvard Divinity School, I have heard his name being mentioned many times by Her Holiness Sri Sadguru Jnanananda Swamigal on many occasions. That's how I knew him, and today I had the pleasure of meeting him. Welcome, Dr. Clooney. He is going to respond to Dr. Indra's speech. Dr. Paneerselvam also, who was the head of the Department of Philosophy, University of Madras, he is going to respond, but perhaps he will be responding online, on Zoom, web itself. He is not able to come today physically. I welcome him. I welcome Dr. Meenakshi. She has been very close to Pattabhi. She is the daughter of Pattabhi's eldest brother, Dr. T.R. Swaminathan, who was an ophthalmologist. And like father, like daughter, Dr. Meenakshi is also involved in the checking and maintenance of eyes. She is associated with Sankara Hospital. Am I correct? You are still there. Thank you. She is a very good singer also. I welcome her and any other member of Pattabiraman's family. I am not able to see. Oh yes, I forgot. Mr. Ravi, who gave the first speech here, welcoming all of you. I am told his grandfather and T.R. Pattabiraman's father's father, that is Vidya's grandfather. Pardon? Ungalode grandfather. Vidya's grandfather, that is Pattabiraman's father, and Ravi's father were closely related, of course, I don't know in what way. Oh, they are brothers. Excellent. So, Mr. Ravi is a very important member of Pattabiraman's family today. My apologies for not mentioning his name in the first. I welcome all of you, those who are making this presentation possible today, those who are associated with streamlining this, live streamlining, and all the audience without whose presence this function will not get any much, to put it in Hindi word, shobha. Aapke bina shobha nahi dega. So I thank all of you, I welcome all the audience, and I wish this function a grand success. I will have to take leave of you now. I have another pressing function in the house. So I am already late for that. Anyway, I will be going. Namaskaram. Pranam to Swamiji.
Thank you, Sripati Mama, for those sharing interesting anecdotes of his professional experiences with Mr. Pattabiraman, who often happens to be my mama. Formally, I think, introduced in this seminar for the first time, but we've been obviously interacting with Vidya and Sri Kumar for quite a while. Moving on, Swamiji was supposed to speak now, but I guess he said he would speak in the end. So we'll now move on to the business end of the event. We have our inaugural talk by Professor C.T. Indra. She'll be speaking on some contemporary debates in the media concerning Indian civilization legacy. A brief about Professor Indra. I'll take the liberty of trimming in, ma'am, because it's pretty long and it's probably going to be a little time consuming. Anyway, I'll just, for the sake of completeness, I'll have a quick run through of this. Professor C.T. Indra taught in the Department of English, University of Madras, Chennai for over 3 decades. She was a Fulbright postdoctoral fellow, Harvard, and American Studies Research Fellow at the University of California, Santa Barbara. She was a British Council visitor to Cambridge, Sastry Indo-Canadian Fellow, University of York and University of Alberta, Austria. India Council Scholar at University of Sydney and University of South Australia. Areas of interest are literary criticism and theory, translation and hagiography. Besides articles and translation journals, her publications include Coleridge Biographia Literaria, Practical Criticism with Teacher, Professor V.S. Sethuraman and T. Sriraman. I think there's a lot more, but I guess I'll probably invite her to deliver her lecture. Thank you so much, Professor Indra.